Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to the show today. I am Becky Auer, your host, and I am so excited to have Grant Barlow on the show with us today. For those of you not in the construction industry, Grant Barlow is a legend in waterproof decking and knowing all the materials and everything that goes into putting vinyl decking on a surface, whatever that looks like for you. Over the past 30 years, Grant has a proven track record of problem solving and fixing things and waterproofing things that nobody else can literally do. And he's just an innovator in that industry. And I'm so excited to have him on today. So let me bring Mr. Grant up. Are you with us? There you are.
Hello, Becky.
How are you?
I'm coming to you from Wellsville, Ohio, on the Ohio River. It's freezing cold out here today. And I'm in the warehouse from where we distribute all these products. And it's great to be here.
Oh, how fun. Oh, my God. So I don't envy you because you're freezing and I hate the cold, and in a warehouse, especially probably with not a whole lot of heat. So I appreciate that you have your vest on today.
It's my Bob Vila look.
That's right. And I like it, actually. You look awesome.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get right to it. So we have done a few interviews, and from those interviews, we have had actual people write in questions about your product and about On Deck Vinyl Works. And so I just thought it would be just easier to do another interview here where we talk about those questions, because if one person has them, other people have them. So I'm just going to shoot you a whole bunch of questions, and you can just give us the answer to all of them. So the first question from one of our listeners was, why is waterproofing a deck important? Do people actually have to waterproof it? So can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, you should know that water is destructive. It's a destructive element. It can cause warping, cracks, mildew, mold, bugs, rot, decay. Freezing water expands that water, or the freezing expands that water if it gets in cracks, if it cracks of wood or any other material, even cracks of concrete. When that water freezes, it gets larger, it expands, and it busts up the concrete. It can be very, very devastating.
Yeah, no, that's not good. Nobody wants that, especially after they have their house and are, trying to make it look amazing, and then winter hits or some catastrophic thing hits. So I totally get that. So if you waterproof a deck, doesn't it, with your product, right, with vinyl, doesn't it just make it totally slippery? Like, I just think in my head, oh my gosh, one step outside and you're falling down or what have you.
Well, some waterproof decks are slippery, especially when they're wet. Tile, painted wood, concrete, and smooth anything is slippery. On Deck is embossed. The texture is engineered to be non-slip even when wet. There's a fine line between having too much texture and not enough. If it has a lot of texture, it's non-slip. If it doesn't have enough texture, to make it easy to clean, it's very slippery. So there's a fine line between too much texture, not enough texture. Do you want it to be easy to clean, or do you want it to be non-slip? We want both. So we find that happy medium, that fine line that makes it just enough texture to keep it from slipping, but not so much that it's hard to clean. So we make it easy to clean and non-slip even when wet.
Well, I know that, just because I'm getting more attuned to, what vinyl decking is, right? Because I didn't know anything before you and I started to do these interviews. I can see how you have to have that certain amount of emboss, but it has to be able to be clean, because you have the clean freaks and the people who just want it to look nice after you invest this money. So it sounds like On Deck Vinyl Works, which is who you represent with the vinyl, has kind of found the secret sauce to that.
Yes, it's it's got safety features built into it.
Right.
The first one is it's non-slip that we just talked about, but then there's other things. It's barefoot friendly. It doesn't give you splinters. There are no splinters. It works great for around a pool or a hot tub outdoors or indoors. We do pool decks indoors, but it's great for bare feet. For one, it doesn't splinter. And the second thing is it's cool to the touch. Some outdoor decks are so hot, you've got to wear sandals or some kind of slippers on your feet because you can't go on with your bare feet. This is heat reflective, especially the lighter colors, but you are able to walk on it with bare feet. And then another safety feature we have is that you can use ice melters on this in the winter, in the freezing cold temperatures like we get here in Ohio. The vinyl, the on-deck vinyl isn't necessarily slippery because it's cold, but when water gets on it or snow and it freezes, the ice gets slippery. So we encourage the use of ice melters to keep it from being slip. And that's a whole nother safety feature.
Yeah, no kidding. And I put the ticker up at the bottom because On Deck Vinyl Works is spelled a little bit differently, right? So I'll just have the ticker run for a little bit. But I think what you said for our listeners, which is really important, is that you don't burn yourself, because if you have a new baby, or you're watching somebody's kid, or even pets, right? I mean, my daughter has a little tiny dog that doesn't like to get his little paws too hot or too cold, for that matter. You know what I mean? So it sounds like this is a superior product because of those reasons.
Correct.
Yeah, very cool. It sounds like somebody at the company really put a lot of thought into what that's going to look like, and then brought you in because you have all of those years of experience. So well done, my friend. Well done. All right. So let's go on to the next question, if that's okay with you.
Fire away.
Okay. So we had a question come in from one of our listeners that says, but I want it to look like a wood deck. And what happens then? Because it's not a wood deck, it's vinyl. So what would you say to that?
Well, a lot of people say they want a wood plank look. And we have a solution for that. We have planks that are printed on our material. And it's the wood plank look. You've got the wood grains and you've got the planks. So when it's on the deck, you get the benefits of the vinyl membrane and you get the appearance of a wood deck. It's beautiful.
Oh, that's great. That's such a great solution too. And just show the audience, if you will, the people who are out there listening or watching, will you show them the back of what that looks like too? Because it looks, it looks like, I guess you have some process to put it down that it would, stay pretty well on the deck, obviously, because you don't want to get callbacks, and you do a great job.
Right. It's a very thick product. It's 60 mils thick. It's solid vinyl, so it wears very well for a very long time. On the backside, it's got this non-woven polyester fabric that's adhered to the back. It's embedded into the vinyl itself, and it's there for a little bit of cushion. It gives a little bit of padding. It's forgiving for an uneven substrate. It hides minor blemishes and imperfections in the substrate because has that little bit of padding. But really, it was put on there for mechanical adhesion of the adhesive. So we put the adhesive on the backside of this. It's contact cement, and we put it on the surface of the deck, and we stick the two together. And if it were just shiny vinyl on the back, it wouldn't have that aggressive stick like it does because of that non-woven polyester fabric on the backside.
And let's take it one step further, because that sounds amazing. So when you put it on one time, like if I'm an installer and I'm having trouble, or if I have a question, I mean, what happens? Do people just reach out to you? Or like if they're on the job, what happens then?
Yeah. For nearly 30 years, I have been teaching people how to install these products. I have developed a lot of the techniques that I teach It's evolved over the years. We're installing it better and faster than ever before. And I consider myself the expert on the installations. A lot of people look up to me for that. People that I have trained have always called me with questions. If they come up against something that's new, a new problem for them, they call me. And because of the great amount of experience that I have, I've always solved those problems already. So people are welcome to call me. Any customer, anybody that buys this material is welcome to call me. I get phone calls, I get emails. I have installers that FaceTime me. We use FaceTime, and they actually take me with them to the deck. They ask me questions about a problem they're having. I help them solve it, and everybody's happy. And that's just part of our customer service. I am the technical support person, the installation support person. Whenever there's a question about installation, I'm the guy to call to answer it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because it's just like you buy something from IKEA, right? And they don't give you much direction. They just give you a piece of paper. And I always think, oh, if I could just call somebody and ask that question. So I love that you are available to them. And for people who are, I know that you're always looking for installers and, or roofers to, do installations for whatever project they have. It's nice to have the hotline, right? What I think of as the bat phone, to be able just to call directly into you. So well done, my friend. Okay, so let's go on now. Let's continue on with, okay, I'm a homeowner and I've chosen a color or a pattern, and about 5 to 10 years into it, I'm sick of it. I want to have something different. Can they change it because you've installed it so well, or what process does that look like? And this was actually a question from one of our listeners before, and I thought it was a great question.
Yes, we do help people that want to change the look. We have, because it lasts so long, it can be on that deck as long as 30 years, sometimes even longer. I've seen it on decks more than 30 years. But when it's out in the sun, it starts to look tired after that. And even before that, people want it to look brand new. And I have plenty of customers that have had us. They ask that question: Can I change the color? I'm tired of this one. Can I get a new one? Or we painted our house a different color. Can we change the color of the deck? And we can change the pattern and the color by just going over the existing vinyl decking with new on-deck Vinyl Works decking membrane. We have a very simple process for that. It's very minimal preparation work because the vinyl lasts so long on the surface of the deck. It's not like it's all curling up and peeling and problems like that. It doesn't have those kind of problems. Any kind of, anything would just be appearance for the color or fading or whatever, or worn. But it's always smooth enough where we could just go over it. And we have a process for that, and it's simple.
Yeah, that's great. Well, speaking of simple, one of the questions sent in was if they have new home construction, or even if they have a problem that they're trying to solve with your vinyl decking. And coming from someone who has redone large portions of their home, how long does it take to do the install? And I know it's different for somebody who just has a home or for, the commercial. So let's talk first with people who have a residential home that need a fix, or that want to have this vinyl decking put down. Talk to us about kind of like how long that takes you, to install it. I know it depends on, is it a small little area or is it a big, huge outside deck? But overall, take us through that process and what that looks like for you and your team.
Well, usually a deck is installed in one day. The on-deck Vinyl Works, the vinyl membrane is one day.
Love that.
Not the entire construction of the deck. That's usually done ahead of time, and we show up there, or the installers show up there in the morning, and by the end of the day, they've got it done. When they pick up their tools and clean up and walk away, it's ready for immediate use. You can get on it. You can barbecue that same night.
Oh, that's so good, because, you like them to show up, do it, and be done. And you have, kind of from, it would just be like it actually is then a brand new deck, and they could have a party that night if they wanted to, is what I'm hearing from you.
Yes, it's a single step waterproofing system. There are some things that are liquid coatings, and there's fiberglass decks. There's lots of other ways to waterproof a deck that have a lot of steps in the process. For us, we just put down the vinyl membrane and we seal it from the top. Everything beneath is kept bone dry. It's waterproof, and we don't have to worry about how thick our layers are, because it's all made in a factory, and then we just install it like flooring onto your deck.
And I am just looking past you at the rolls that are behind you. Is that all the decking material?
Yes, what you see here are the rolls that we use. We have different size rolls. These are the ones I'm standing in front of are 6 feet wide. They're all our materials 6 feet wide. It's all 60 mil thick, and some rolls are 25 yards long. Some rolls are 300 feet long. The 25 yards are 75 feet. Different. They're cut into different lengths, but we have plenty of every color that's in our free design kit. We have plenty of them that usually there's enough on a roll that we could do it without having extra joints. The rolls are 6 feet wide, so there's a seam every 6 feet, but on the length, we can go very long and not have to have head joints.
I see. So for people that are out there and possibly watching this, are you looking right now for like installers?
We sure are. We're always looking for good tradesmen, craftsmen that don't mind working outdoors, that can work on their knees, that want to work with a successful product. They want to have success with a product that people love after they're done. So we are always looking for installers all over North America. We do have training available. We can train face-to-face. We can train people how to install with a subscription-based video academy, or we could bring them here to this warehouse. We have training mock-ups set up where people come here, and I actually teach them how to heat weld the seams and do all the details, and then they become a certified installer.
Oh, that's very cool. So even somebody that would be looking to add an additional stream of income to what they may already be doing could, have this kind of in their back pocket, if you will, to add an additional stream of income to what they're already doing.
Correct. Most of our installers are not full-time with this. Most of our installers are carpenters or roofers, tradesmen that they want this product in their arsenal. And
yeah.
The knowledge is in their toolbox.
Very good. All right. And you mentioned a free design kit. Is that for installers and for people that are thinking of having this product installed in their residence?
Yes, we send the free design kit. You can get access to it. You can submit your contact info so that we could send it to you. And we send a free design kit, which includes samples of all the patterns and colors that are available, and we send it out quickly, and we like to get it in the hands of architects, designers, homeowners, builders, tradesmen. We want people to be able to see what it is and touch it, and then they can understand it and see what the texture is and the actual color. You could hold a sample up to the siding on the outside of your project and get a color match that way. Sometimes the architects have a board all set up with all the different finishes that they're going to use. And then out of our design kit, they can select a pattern and color that's going to go best with the rest of the building.
I see. All right. Very cool. I love it. So if anybody out there wants a design kit, we'll put some information up here at the end on how you can you can request that. Tell me this, Grant. One of the questions sent in was that is your product only for new decks, but I think you've probably already answered that in that it's not just for new decking.
Correct. Our favorite installation, of course, is new because everything's all set up for us. But we do plenty of jobs. We sell plenty of material to people who have some kind of an existing deck. It could be wood planks. It could be treated wood. It could be the composite decks, or it could even be a roofing material. There's plenty of flat rooftop decks that they have finished with a black gooey roofing material, and they're expected to walk on that, and it's just a kind of a nightmare. And we can help them with. We have the right material that's designed to be walked on and take that traffic, and we have all the details for how to make it truly waterproof. So we get them to remove those kind of materials and get the substrate all fixed up. We put the material down, and usually there's a railing around the perimeter of the deck to keep people from falling off. Usually they're up high. Rooftops, we could take an existing roof that's already been a roof that never was a deck. You could cut a door to walk out onto it, use this material, put a nice railing. It could be powder coated aluminum, something maintenance free. It could be glass if you have the view, but we could turn a flat rooftop into a rooftop deck.
Oh, that's pretty awesome, especially with, how everyone, at least through this, last time with COVID, everybody's staying home, and it'd be very cool to make your roof if it was accessible and you had the, wherewithal that you could make a little area up there where you could just go out and breathe some fresh air. So that's amazing, as long as you have that railing to, so I guess all of this vinyl decking, is malleable, like you can make it so it is waterproof around a railing and that type of thing?
We do, yes. We have engineered details for any kind of penetration, how the corners of the door, that's where it's most likely to leak. Wherever there's a post for the railing, almost all these decks have railings and railing posts. And it's difficult to do if you don't know how to do it. But once somebody understands how it all works, we do have a method for any kind of penetration to make it waterproof. It's truly a great system.
Well, that's amazing. Well, just recap, because one of our last questions was that they wanted to make sure that on-deck vinyl was building department approved. And I don't exactly know what that means, but I assume that you do.
Well, all building materials should be approved for use on a building. They get the siding on your house, the roofing on your house, the flooring inside. It needs to be safe. You don't want something that's going to give off harmful gases and give you trouble, breathing troubles. You don't want it to be slippery and harmful. You don't want it to be toxic. So this product that is behind me, it gets rigorous testing. It is code approved for use as a flooring material. It's code approved for use as a roofing material. Specifically, we have acceptance criteria by the International Code Council. We meet the requirements for AC 39, which is for pedestrian traffic membrane. That means it's designed to be walked on. Then we have AC 75, which is for roofing material. It gets for roofing to be an approved roofing material. It gets tested all the way down to -40, and they bend it 180 degrees. It has to survive that. We test for wind uplift, seam strength, cracking, shattering, all those kind of things. And all these materials that we sell here are approved. They have passed all those tests, and they get tested regularly, and we keep up with all that. They are code approved for fire resistance. We're Class A fire rated when we're on a non-combustible substrate, and that means that it doesn't support flame. So if there's a lot of safety in that, that makes it good, really good for commercial projects. When we have multifamily buildings like condominium buildings, the materials need to be fire resistant, and they have different grades of that. And Class A fire resistance is important for commercial multifamily buildings, and this meets that because it doesn't support flame.
I love that. I love that. So for anyone out there that knows what all those initials mean, I'm sure you're talking directly to them. But I heard you loud and clear when you said, hey, if you're a condominium developer with multifamily buildings, that you can handle orders up to that size, and then you provide support where if they have any question on installation or what that would look like, they have a direct line into your company and to you directly, because you're the one that's really been, doing this, if you will, installs for forever. But you have the support. You created the online program, which is amazing. And so if people can't get to your warehouse in Wellsville, for you to show them one-on-one, you can still help them, which is great.
Yeah, we are able to help developers, builders of large condominium projects, hotels, apartment buildings. We can help them by we could send them the material one building at a time. They don't have to stockpile the whole job there.
That's nice.
We could send it in piecemeal, or we could go the other way, send it all, and we're there to help. We have solutions for how to get the finish with whatever the outside finish of the building is. We have details for all those things to keep it waterproof.
I love that. And, how I think of you, I've never really said this to you, but how I think of you is the solution guy. Like, if you have any trouble, I tell people now, I've been really talking to this guy online and I'm learning so much. And if you have any kind of question about vinyl decking or even just, fixing anything, that Grant is the solution guy. That's my new name for you. You're the solution guy.
Call me anytime. I've got the answers.
That's right. Well, if you are out there and listening to this and you want the answers, please feel free to reach out to Grant at On Deck Vinyl Works. Is that the best way for them to get in contact with you or to request a design kit? Is that how you'd like them to reach you?
That's the best way. And if you want to talk to me directly on the phone, you're welcome to call me, 216-389-2212. I'm always there.
No one talks on the phone anymore, right? Everything's by email or what have you, but you are great.
Or you could text me at that number.
Oh, very good. Very good. Well, this has been great. And those were all our questions thus far. We'll probably do like another series of these because we end up getting questions in all the time. And I like to just throw them all into one and we'll bust on through them. But for anybody out there listening, reach out to Grant. He's looking for the company is looking for installers, for construction, for roofing, for architects, those types of things. Or if you're a homeowner and want to, research this and talk to Grant about maybe this being a solution for a new deck or a deck that you have that needs some repair, reach out to Grant, right, Grant?
Yes.
All right. Very good. Well, we are going to wrap it for today. My name is Becky Auer. I am your host, Grant. It was so fun to have you on the show again. And listen, for all my listeners out there, I love you guys so much. Please share this with your friends, anybody in the construction and roofing and installing industries, architect, but let them know that On Deck Vinyl Works is a force to be reckoned with. And I can't wait to see you in the spotlight.